Baby, voy por ahí.
Tarde en la madrugada, su ropa nueva solo le gusta salir de noche. Bien así que la se monta en su coche.
Papi, esta noche es culpa tuya.
Un bellaqueo, es lo que la baby pide. Quiere que se active, vamos por el peleo, pa' que solita se motive.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Carly Love. This is my first ever makeup tutorial. I am super excited that you're here to watch this, and yeah, I've had a million excuses of why I haven't started making makeup tutorials. All of my friends, my family are always asking me to help them with their makeup, what products I use, if I have a YouTube channel that has makeup tutorials. So I have a million excuses of why I haven't started YouTubing. One of the big reasons being I have no idea how to YouTube. So bear with me as I learn along throughout my more videos I have coming. So yeah, thank you for clicking on this video. I will be demonstrating how to do a half cut crease, like brownish, olive green, shimmery eye. This video is how, like, I totally winged it. So I used like 4 different palettes, and I love playing around with different palettes. I love playing around with different colors. So I didn't do the typical just use one palette for an eye look, which I plan to do so in the future. I just kind of like recorded how I usually do my makeup, how I usually just kind of wing it. And this was that look I created for Thanksgiving. So yeah, like 3 weeks ago, and I've been trying to edit, put it all together, add all the little stuff to it, little music, and cut and put it together. So yeah, I hope you guys keep watching, and if you have any questions, please comment below, because I might have missed some products or not explained very well, as I am still learning how to narrate throughout my videos. So yeah, just leave it in the comments. I will list all the products that I used in the description, and just make sure to subscribe and like my video and share it with your friends and family. Thanks guys.
Alright, so onto the tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and use that Fit Me by Maybelline Translucent Powder to set the area on my eyelids and under my eyebrows with that dual-sided brush from the Urban Decay palettes. I use that fluffy side and just set my whole eyelid under my brows to get it ready for the eyeshadows. I did my eyebrows off camera, but I will probably drop a how to do your eyebrows tutorial in the future. And to start off with the first shade, we're using the palette 35F by Morphe. I think I always say that wrong. And we're using a pointed crease brush by Sephora. We're gonna go ahead and dip it into that shade that I showed earlier, and we're gonna move it in circular motions across the crease area of the eyelid to get it blended out well. You just want to keep doing it until it looks pretty blended and you're happy with it. It's not as fast as it shows on this video. It does take a while. We're just gonna keep blending. And onto the other eye, same thing, circular motions across the lid. Okay, then we're using that Tease Me by Beauty Creations palette, and we're using the shade Innocent. And I started using a Real Technique brush, but it's old and I found it, and it actually really sucks. So I went ahead and switched over back to that fluffy side of the dual-sided Urban Decay brush to add that Innocent shade on my eyelid and blend it up towards the transition shade. And right here I switched back to that brush I was telling you about. And then you just want to blend it up to the transition shade, make sure it's blended out pretty well. I don't think you could see the difference in the color really on camera, but there is the Innocent shade is a little bit more of a brick red brown color. Alright, and then we're moving on to the Subculture by Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and we're using the shade All Star. And we are gonna do a V shape on the outer corner of our eyelids using that smudge brush by Sephora. And we're just gonna pack it on in a V shape on the outer crease and along our lash line. And we're just gonna pack it on with this brush. I actually got this brush set at Sephora, and they came with this, I think, about 4 or 5 eye brushes, and they work pretty good for the price they are. And here we're moving on using a utility brush by Pure Minerals to blend out that All Star shade. You want to just circular motions again, moving it across the eyelid and blend it. Just blend. You want to go along in that V shape outer corner. Just keep blending it. And then I went ahead and added a little bit more. You always want to start off little by little with these you know, darker shades. You don't want to end up looking like you have a black eye, because it's kind of hard once you went a little too much into the shade. And you just want to keep blending it and move it across, almost hitting the inner corner but not quite there. As you can see, I didn't go all the way to the inner corner. Back to the Morphe palette, using that transition shade again. We just go over what we just blended to just make it more blended, and so it doesn't look like very harsh, and no harsh lines are visible. And then just a little bit more of that All Star shade and blend. Cool, it looks pretty blended. We do the same thing on the other eye off camera. Alright, then we're moving on to the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette. We're using that black shade. I don't think it has a name. No, it's just a black shade. I'm going to start off dipping it very lightly. It is very pigmented, and we're using that utility brush to again start a V shape on the outer corner of our eyelid. And we're just going to outline it. And then we're gonna start blending in that V shape, if that makes sense. Just like blend it on the outer corner, and you're gonna pull it up halfway to your crease, halfway throughout your crease. And then we just keep blending here. Okay, now that we did that to the other eye, so go back a little bit, and if you just wanted to look a little bit more dramatic, I wanted to look a little bit more dramatic, so I went ahead with that black shade again and just add a little bit more to each side. Sometimes with all that blending, we do fade the color, and we just want to go back with it a little bit. Like I said, it's always better to start off little by little than end up doing too much in the beginning, and it's just so much harder to go back and lighten a dark shade up. That looks pretty good. So now we're going with our Shape Tape by Tarte. We're doing a half cut crease look like I had mentioned from the beginning. And we're just gonna use the flat side of the double-sided Urban Decay brush, and we're just lining where our natural crease is halfway, and then just filling the space in between from the lash line and our crease. And just take your time here, and you probably won't get it on the first try. You may, I don't know, it took me a while to learn. And then we use that shimmery shade from the Morphe F35 palette with the flat-sided brush, and we dip it in there a couple times, and then just put it where we set our concealer. I didn't set it before, I just went ahead, used this shade and put it on top of the concealer. The eyeshadow acts as a setting to the concealer by itself. And I went ahead and dipped it maybe 3 or 4 times into that shade just so it'll really show up. I probably would have done maybe a lighter shimmery color since it is a darker olive goldish brown color. I went ahead and added it, dipped it a couple 2 to 4 times in there so the color will really show up. And then go back with that utility brush by Pure Minerals and go back with the black to blend in the outer lines. And just make sure it looks blended. Since it is a half cut crease and then a full cut crease, you don't want it to look blotchy on the sides. And just make sure it's blended in well towards each other. Alright, we have both eyes done. Then we go in with the eyeliner. So I used the Wet n Wild eyeliner, the waterproof one. I've always used this one. I haven't really ventured out trying new eyeliners. Kind of out of my comfort zone to try new eyeliners. I feel like I haven't found a good one. So if you have any suggestions of eyeliners, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And I can probably do a review on my next favorite eyeliner if I do find a new favorite eyeliner. So yeah, what you want to do is just, I line my whole lash line. And then for the wing, I kind of go off by where my eyebrow ends. And then I pull a line across on top of that and fill it in. And then just smooth out any rough edges. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Oh, we're just gonna go back and clean it up a little bit more. Carly being a perfectionist. And then we're gonna grab a baby wipe. This is my secret to a sharp line eyeliner. And we're just gonna, in a straight diagonal line, clean it up. And you'll see how much sharper it looks. You wipe off any excess eyeshadow, clean up any jagged lines of the eyeliner, and just look at that, it's way more sharp. We do the same thing with the other eye. Now we're going to use some tweezers. Any tweezers you have really works for this. And put eyelash glue on your eyelashes. And, you know, make sure they're a little tacky so they stick on once you put them on. The way I put them on, I don't go straight from the top. I put them almost like, I look straight ahead and then put them straight in, if that makes sense. Because if you put them in coming up from the top, they'll just stick up and look really weird. So I just kind of put them straight going into my eye. And I mean, don't put them in your eye, but straight into my eye. And then I just brush them up to make them look like perky at the ends. And then I use any mascara works just to hide those residues of the glue, and just blend your eyelashes into the falsies. And then you do want to go over with eyeliner to cover up again any eyelash glue residues. So I did my full face off camera for the sake of time of this video. And then I'll go back with that transition shade and line the bottom of my eyelashes, my lower lash line. Just go all the way across with the transition shade. Go back with the Tease Me palette using that Innocent shade, that brownish brick red color, and go on top of the transition shade. Now this shade I do about 3/4 of the way on the bottom of the lash line. And then the last shade I use for the bottom lash line is that All-Star shade. Again, 3/4 of the way across. Same thing with the other eye. And we just line our bottom lash line with eyeliner. Any black eyeliner, pencil eyeliner. Don't use liquid eyeliner, that burns. Any pencil black eyeliner to line the bottom of our lash line. And put mascara on our bottom lashes. I do use waterproof mascara for my bottom lashes, so you know, it doesn't smear all over the place. And then the last step, I grabbed that Lies color by that Tease Me palette. It's like a banana yellowish color, just to line the bottom of my eyebrows. And there you have it, the finished look. Half cut crease using multiple palettes. I hope you guys like it. Please like, subscribe, drop your comments below. Let me know what you want to see next. Yeah, thank you guys. Bye.